record. So what I'm doing is kind of 30 minutes every Wednesday, just talking about certain topics that I know a bit about. The idea being that, you know, Website Wednesday, let's all kind of chip away or get things on your radar that you could be doing to your website to improve it in the search. So I have a number of topics I'm going to talk about, but this week I'm going to talk about local search. And so I've got a few things to share with you, which I will rattle through. And just share my screen. You see that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and there we go. Okay. Oh, do you know what I forgot to do? I've got to take the animations off. They're really annoying, so I do apologise ahead of time. Right, so local search. So when you do a search in Google, in fact, I need to stop. I need to go to another screen to show you. Oh, sorry. Start again. Okay, there's my window. Right, if I go to a Google search and I search for dry cleaners, Cheltenham, for example, can you see this listing that comes up here? You see that okay? Yeah. So yeah. What you've got is you've got 3 results here, which is called the 3 map pack. And then you've got a button that says more businesses, and then you've got the organic listings. Okay. So when you go to maps, and I'll explain why Google changed this, you have the map listings. And the idea being that if you were looking for a local business and you were looking on your phone, that it would be really easy to then be able to identify where they were from your location. Okay, so the top 3 are a feature of the map results. Okay, and then obviously there's the other listings below, but then you've also got these organic listings. So what that basically means is that you have 2 opportunities to appear, 2 opportunities to rank in the search engines, which is quite good. So if we sort of talk about what local SEO is, it's the work you would do to influence your business's online visibility at a local level. And it's like organic SEO, but it's with the geographical element added. And the goal is that you want to try and get high up. You want to be in that 3 map pack feature, and you want to be in the top 3 of the organic search. Because that would be kind of the sweet spot, really. And why you should want to do this is because that 46% of all searches in Google are local, which is pretty good. 89% of people are searching using their phone at least once a week. So making sure it works well on mobile is really important. And then 58% are searching daily. So, you know, it's some really sort of decent stats to kind of show that it's worth having that local presence. Even if you work with businesses all over the place, it's really worth still, you know, to work with somebody who's around the corner. It's much nicer than having to get in the car and, you know, commute. So it makes a lot of sense. And so you've got local SEO, which is essentially the overarching piece, and then you've got Google Business Profile. So Google Business Profile, which was called Google My Business, is a free tool that Google gave to help businesses manage how they appear in Google search results. And interestingly, Bing, which is another search engine, they have their version of it as well. So you can have these different listings. what's nice about it is that if you're a new business and you don't have a website, you still have an online presence and it's free. So it makes a lot of sense. But where it kind of ties back in with local search is that having a website and having a Google business profile helps the two to work in harmony together. So, you know, if you're starting out, then obviously not having a website is okay, but going forward, you would want to have one. And helping, you know, to attract, connect, and engage customers locally when they search for business like yours and find you know, if you have a physical location, is really important. And actually, that's one of the things to mention is that in order for it to work for local search, you do need to put your address. And this is the pushback I get from a lot of people. Well, I don't want to put my address, I work from home. Which understandably, that can be something that I can understand why. But on the other hand, you know, if somebody wanted to find out your address, they probably could find it out quite easily anyway when you run a business, because you've got documents and things out there.
And if you're a limited company, it's on Companies House.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I guess if you're a sole trader, then not so much. But if you really, it's dead easy to find details, isn't it? You know, if you really, really wanted to. So I don't think that's a good enough reason not to do it. A way around it might be that you don't put your number of your house. A few people have done that, and that can kind of work. But it's all about trust and being authentic. So on your website, having you again, for this to work, you'd have to have your details on your website as well. But it's about being authentic, and that's what Google's looking for, rather than people that are trying it on and making out they're running a business when they're not. So providing those two pieces of reassurance is important. And I think the reason, because the interface, I just show you how you would log into your business profile changed, because Google My Business had its own interface, but then because it became part of Maps, which makes sense because it's all about local, this is what you would now see. So in the search results, you would see your listing and the opportunity to edit these details. So the Google My Business kind of interface and app has gone, and this is how you would access it. Okay, so ranking factors. So Google local search results are based on 3 factors. So you've got relevance, distance, and prominence. So relevance, kind of think in terms of keywords, so what somebody's putting in, and what the intent of those keywords are, so that they're being specific about looking for something, like a help with something, is essentially it. Then you've got the distance thing, which is about around locations. So if I did a search for the dry cleaners and I'm sat in Leckhampton in Cheltenham, I'm going to have the results show me the ones closest to me. And if somebody else was doing it in Cheltenham, they potentially could get different results, because the distance element is important. And your browser is being, you can turn it off, but your browser is kind of telling Google where you're located, so it will be matching that to that search result. And then the other thing is prominence. Oh, there we go. I think I do. Relevance, how well your business profile matches what the user's searching for. You need to make sure your listing is fully complete, accurate, and detailed, so it reflects your services. And this is where local keywords come in, and having them in your description, etc. And then the distance, again, it's the location between where you are searching for. So yesterday I searched for Celebrant Brighton because I was helping a client out, and I'm sat in Cheltenham, so I get completely different results, even though I've put Celebrant Brighton. If the location isn't specific, so say you've turned off your browser an IP address, which incidentally, even if you do that in Google Chrome, they still track you. it will still try. So I blocked Google, and I don't know how. I think it was doing it on my IP address. It thought I was in Bourton on the Water, so it was bringing back results based on where it thought I was. That makes sense. And yeah, so that distance thing is kind of helpful. And then the prominence. So this is now brand awareness. So it's like your online reputation and how well and popular your business is in that local area. So, you know, if you were a landmark building in Cheltenham that's quite well known, that is going to go in your favour if that's what someone's searching for. But just think in terms of brand awareness and kind of building that up, really. And to improve the prominence, you want to focus on, you know, reviews and good content and getting backlinks, which we'll talk about in a minute. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Okay, so features. So the features of the Google Business Profile. So you've got the 3 map pack, which we know about. You've got the reviews, which is an opportunity to get to be trusted more by your customers and Google, because if people are going to the effort of writing a review about you, then they're obviously happy. So that can really influence, can have a big impact on local SEO. So the more good reviews, and funnily enough, I'm a bit of a nerd and I listen to podcasts on these things. And they were saying that actually a 5-star review isn't necessarily as trusted. The sweet spot is 4.7, because we're human, and because you know, when you see something and it's 5-star, it's a bit like, okay. Now, I'm not saying go and put a bad review on my profile, but it's a numbers game at the end of the day anyway. But
yeah, then does anybody ever give 10 out of 10?
Well, no, because you can't do 10 out of 10. You can only do 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5, sorry, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't think anybody ever does. You know, I attended a show last week or week before, and they wanted me to do the survey, and you know, I really enjoyed the show. It was good, it was well organized and everything, but I still couldn't put 5 out of 5.
Yeah. I think it depends. I think with product businesses, or like an Amazon thing, you know, people read the reviews, it can really vary, can't it? Because there's no kind of emotional attachment. But I wonder whether with more service businesses, people feel like they have to put 5 stars. I don't know. But it's never a bad thing if you do get a bad review, as long as you reply. You know, you should always reply to all reviews. And if somebody is trying it on and sort of scamming you a little bit, then a reply where you say, well, look, I don't have any record of working with you, or if you could provide a bit more information, or something like that. Most people that are normal people would probably look through that and kind of read between the lines and think, oh, they're trying it on. So as long as you answer the reviews, etc., and you know, that's kind of what you would do in normal everyday life, isn't it? So it's just being authentic is what it's all about. You've also got images. Now, images are great because it shows that your listing is alive. It's also can help. Listings with images can receive up to 42% more clicks, which is, you know, picture speaks 1,000 words and all of that. And so if Google's given that feature, use it, add them frequently. One of the things I've started doing is when I share a blog, I'll talk about posts next, but when I share a blog, I'll create the post, but I'll also upload it as an image. I just got into that habit of doing it, as it won't automatically do it. So posts are only live for 7 days. So they kind of stay there in the archive, but they're not kind of pushed and promoted by Google. So again, you need to be doing it frequently, because that is going to help show that your business is alive and current, so etc. And you've also, within posts, you've got a post which is like a mini blog where you can direct them to your website, which is what I would always recommend. You've got the opportunity to put an event and share an event that you're running or something like that. And you've also got the opportunity to add updates or offers or something that you're offering that could be quite a good, you know, if you had a particular, I don't know, like one of the reviews you do, Ali, where you might offer a review. You can even put your pricing in, you know, from price or something like that. But it's good to look at what your competitors are doing, really, and kind of, yeah, in that respect. What else is there? FAQs. So if somebody asks a question, always answer it. If nobody asks a question, add a question and answer it yourself. So a bit like FAQs on a website, because you will be getting asked lots of things all of the time. So rather than having to regurgitate it, you can create it and put it on your profile, and then that will really help. Citations. So this is more sort of local SEO, but what a citation is your details, your name, address, phone number, web address on directories or on other kind of sites that are trusted by Google. So it's a bit like local backlinks, and backlinks are the way for Google to trust your website more. So the way I like to explain that is, if I am looking for somebody to come and clean the carpets and I ask a friend for a recommendation, I'm going to trust that carpet cleaner more because my friend has had a good experience and recommended them to me. And that's what backlinks are on your website. It's that reinforcement and that authenticity. And so in the same vein with citations, that's what we're doing for local searches, getting your business on other directories. And one of the benefits of that is, like, for example, I don't know, Yelp or Yellow Pages, or if somebody can't leave a review on your Google profile, because if you haven't got a Google email, I think it's tricky, then you could direct them to another site that you have a listing on so that you still get that review and that kickback.
Apart from Yelp, what typical other ones are there, Natalie?
Gosh, there's tons. I mean, make sure they're relevant to your industry.
Okay.
The top ones are Facebook, Yelp, and Google. I would recommend Google. I would recommend Bing. And then you've got the obvious ones like Yell, Trust Local. There's a whole load. But don't do it for the sake of it. Another good thing is, you know, if you've got a listing with, say, I don't know, the local Chamber of Commerce or something like that, that would act as a citation as well. What other features are there? We've talked about posts, we've talked about citations. Oh yeah, and then you've got, I'll just go here quickly. You've got a performance tab within the profile itself. So if I go back here, can you see this button here, performance? It used to be called insights. Google changes things a lot. But basically this gives you a very sort of stripped back summary of how your profile is performing. And you can see here that these are the keywords people are finding me on. So it's worth looking at your profile and looking at what keywords people are putting in, that then means they come and find your profile, because then you can make those keywords perform better, tighten that up. So things you need to be doing: you need a location, as I said, you need a location on your listing, you need a location on your website. You want to check that it's working well for mobile. So because when you look at your listing on your phone, it will look different to a desktop, and it's meant to. So on a phone, it would show the direction, it would show the telephone number and the directions, whereas on a desktop it would show the website, because if you were driving, or you wouldn't need to go to the website, you'd want to know where they were located. You want to optimize your listing using the features I mentioned. You want to update your listing with fresh content frequently, and just get into the habit of doing it as like another social channel. So if you've gone to that trouble of writing a blog, go and put it on there. If you've put a post on social, go and put it on Google My Business. Just kind of bake it into your routine, and it doesn't become a big thing then. It's just part of your promotion. Yeah, optimize your website for local. So if you were really keen on working in some particular areas, you could actually have those locations on your website and in the listing, and that would reinforce that. Get backlinks, get reviews, add FAQs, and then really you do need to be looking at those tools. And so this is the free part of the tool, but there's also a tool that I use for my business, but also for clients, where they can subscribe to it, and it's more accurate at tracking the rankings within. So, like I was saying earlier, if I search for Celebrant Brighton, I'll get a different result. Well, this kind of tool, because SEO tools, unfortunately, you have to pay for, but this kind of tool will actually be more accurate and tell you exactly how you're doing. So, for example, marketing coach or SEO audit, I'm appearing in the map results, which is great, but I'm also appearing in the map pack, the 3-pack that I told you about. So I want to get more of those because that will show more visibility. So yeah, having a tool like this does kind of take a lot of the guesswork out, and there's other features for that. So that's it, really. That's all I wanted to share. What do you think? Any questions?
I guess the challenge for me is hardly any of my work is local. Now that might be a kind of a vicious circle in that respect. But I think I need to focus on more the national side of things, but have a low-level local presence in that respect. I don't know how much I'll actually get from around here, from where I am now, at this moment. None of my work actually from any client is in this neck of the woods.
No.
No, not at this moment in time. No.
What do you do, Nick?
So I've got a coaching and leadership business. So a lot of my work is associate work, but a lot of my work is London and Scotland, ironically.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So yeah. But no, I have played it before, but not played it enough. And I think for me is actually dedicate a little bit like the national, is dedicating the time to actually doing it.
Yeah.
Not managing it, but also as well feeding into it as well in that respect. And it's fallen off my radar, hence the reason for getting back online with yourself in that way.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly is. It's certainly worth trying it for sure, because you just don't know who might be on your doorstep. You really don't. Yeah, and so it's worth. I mean, I've just had a really quick look, and it looks like it's at your old address. So even just updating the address would be.
Yeah, I have tried changing it, but it resorts back to the old address.
Really?
Yeah, for some reason, and I don't know whether that's permission things, and you need to amend it or not. I don't know, but I'll have another go at it.
Oh, if you move, you need to re-verify it. So you'd get a postcard.
All right.
So maybe the postcard was going to the old address. So you'd need to when you change the address, it should give you an instruction on.
Okay, I'll have another look.
Something like that, and maybe because it didn't get verified, it then went back. It will be something like that. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully that was helpful. Any questions, Ali?
No, thank you very much. I obviously need to set mine up because I haven't even done mine.
Oh, there we go then. So, one of the actions then, or one of the things to do is have a listing.
Have a listing.
A good place to start.
I'm not really sure what, I mean, a bit like, you know, a lot of my work is kind of national. It doesn't necessarily need to be local, but the reason I wanted to hop on today was because I've talking to you about it before, Nat, so I'd really like to find some clients that are close by so that I can go and visit them rather than my clients that are miles away. I can't just I'll pop in for a coffee, we'll discuss something. Most of the time it's you know, I have to take like a whole day.
Yeah.
And it's
where are you
long.
based, Ali?
Shropshire.
Shropshire. Okay, so yeah, Shropshire's ideal for the type of work that you do, isn't it?
Foodie, yeah, foodie. You
Yeah.
know, and
Lovely.
it's such a fantastic region. We have loads of local producers and everything else. So, and I have worked with some of them, you know, some that aren't that far away. But at the moment, actually, 2 or 3 of the clients that I've got at the moment are actually based quite a far way away. So it's not just a simple, you know, actually I'll call by the office one day, we'll have a coffee, we'll talk about the way things are. Yeah, it just makes it's like, oh, I've got to tackle the M6.
Good old M6.
We love the M6. Not well, no, actually I love the M6 once I'm past Preston. It's the bit between me and Preston. So yeah, but no, I do need to set it up, and so therefore, Nats, you may end up having quite a challenging few days with me asking lots of silly questions.
No, it's yeah, I mean, it Google is frustrating because they're always changing the goalposts. So there used to be something called attributes, which they then changed to services. Sometimes you can't find something on your profile. It's almost like the government. They're just trying to blind you with science and make things slightly tricky sometimes. I don't really know why we're at their beck and call, but it does if you can get it working, probably putting you off now, and I don't mean to, but it is actually quite straightforward to get going, but it's when things then change. And that's my other piece of advice is if you're going into there and you're updating it and you're adding things, you're going to notice when something changes. Whereas when you're leaving it for a while and then you come back to it, it's a bit like, oh, was it like that before or wasn't it like that before? You know, you can't remember. So yeah, a bit like your website, you know, you want to be adding to it, and a social channel, you want to be adding to it. So yeah. Cool. Okay.
What other sessions you got coming up, Nat?
Right, I've got next week, I'm talking about messaging. But actually, I was going to send an email out and ask my email list, you know, is there anything that you want me to talk about? I've got probably about 13 topics that I could easily talk about, and then I'll kind of circle back and see which ones. Like the one I did last week on website platforms wasn't that popular, but it could be because I messed up the automation. So I'm sort of just trying stuff out. Is there anything that you would like me to talk about?
I'd certainly go away and have a think about it in terms of selfishly for me what I would like, and kind of throw that back at you and see if there's any value in doing it for others as well in that respect.
Yeah. Okay. No, that would be good. What about you, Ali?
I just look at your list and I go, oh, I think I need to learn more about that. Oh, I need to learn more about that. And
it's a shopping list.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I think sometimes when I join, it's because I'm probably more curious than I am anything else, because I'm like, actually, I hadn't even thought I needed this, but I might. So yeah, and actually, you know, just having like half an hour or 40 minutes is like a lot more manageable than, you know, attending a masterclass that's a 2-hour something, or do you know what I mean? You know, and this is kind of great because I can hop on, feel much more informed, and then be able to put it on the list to actually do.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's why I sort of changed it to half an hour. It doesn't matter if I go over at all. If people, you know, want me to, that's absolutely fine. It's just half an hour in sort of middle of the day is easier than, you know, and I just want to kind of get into a bit of a rhythm of doing it weekly, apart from school holidays and whatever, just because then, you know, I'm kind of talking about these topics a bit more frequently, and it's easier than doing loads of socials.
I guess it's the same with all of this. I'm not sure you experience this, Ali. It's just getting to that habit of doing it. Amongst everything else you've got to do as well, it's getting to the habit of doing, whether it's a presentation, whether it's an article, a blog, or whatever else it might be. It's getting your mojo, and it's sometimes the last thing you want to do, which is probably not necessarily the first thing you need to do, but it's up there near the top of the list, that thing.
And it's so time zapping, know, isn't it? Just because
It
the
can
problem
be.
is when you think about doing a post or you doing something else, you end up going and checking something out, and before you know it, you've watched 3 reels and you've gone, oh yeah, actually I should do more of that. And yeah, just it's like the Forth Bridge, it's never painted, because you get to the end and you have to start again. And
yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, but it's good. I came along last week more because I had got some questions, as Nats knows, about my website. I'm on WordPress, so I feel as I'm exactly where I need to be. But I did have some questions, so hence the reason why I thought, oh, do you know what? Actually, I'll hop on the call and then, yeah, pick.
Well, funnily enough, actually, I was. This is something I could ask both of you because you're both on the same platform. I was thinking. I was talking to Rob, web developer Rob, and saying, what can we do to help our clients with updating their websites more easily? Because if I end up doing it for you, that is not the most affordable way for you, plus you're not learning how to do it, but actually it's just not the best way all round, really. And I'm trying to sort of move away from doing so much project work. So we were thinking that maybe like a weekly kind of membership-y subscription, low cost. Come send your questions beforehand. If there's anything challenging, then Rob can have a think about it, and then we kind of answer them, maybe do a little bit of training in the platform. This is how you do this. And I can create some, over time, I can create some videos where it's like, if you want to add a new page or you want to add a new blog or whatever. And then it's only a set amount of time each week, rather than, what it's like, you get an email, or it just, you go down a rabbit hole, like you say, with the reels. So I think this could be a really nice way of kind of helping everybody, but it not being, and also it's accountability. So when you were saying, Nick, about you have these good intentions of doing a blog or whatever, where I started doing these events, I know I've got to turn up and I've got to have some content. And there's something about that really puts a rocket up you. So maybe in the same way, having a session, it's not, even if you only came to it once a month, but you knew that you had that help, or you just want to come and hang out for the vibe and hear what's being talked about, what other people are struggling with. So I'm really thinking about doing something like that, because it would be helpful, be fun, and it would potentially mean that you could do more to your websites, which is what I kind of want people to be doing.
So yes, so you could potentially go out to your kind of your clients, if you like, and just maybe it's a questionnaire or just some narrative. What is it they kind of use? What is it they kind of don't use but want to use? Combined with your knowledge, what are the high value but low cost in terms of activity that people can be doing, and get into that rhythm of doing it?
Yeah, which I already kind of know the answer to, is being able to blogging, and being able to add new pages or make adjustments or set up a landing page, or something like that. So
as you've just said, Nats, you're very geeky, and you listen to a lot of podcasts about various things. And I too do enjoy a podcast. It depends. Sometimes they're worky, sometimes they're personal, sometimes I just listen to them because they make me laugh when I need them to. But yeah, so how, I mean, in terms of if you wanted to get the most engagement, is it blogs? Is it podcasts? Is it social media posts? Which one is the one, if you said I could do one really, really well, which one would it be?
Well, it's the age-old answer of it depends.
It
depends. You knew I was going to say that, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
It depends, I'm afraid. It depends on your industry, depends on your target market. From an SEO perspective, blogging all the way, because that's how Google would index your content. But equally, blogging is, I kind of explain it like the back door into your website. So if somebody is searching for a long tail keyword on a problem, that they're not necessarily going to search for your services, but they might search for something that they're struggling with, and then your blog pops up that's really helpful and guiding and whatever, but not selling. It's like, it's subtle, and then you kind of at the end might talk about how you could help do it for them. And the idea there is trying to build your email list so that if they're not ready to buy there and then, that they might come into your world, get to know you, and consider it later down the line. So that would be seen as a conversion if they came onto your email list. So that would be my recommendation. What's so great about that is that then you can repurpose it. You can repurpose it into a podcast. You can repurpose it into social posts. You know, that's in my bigger membership that I do. That's what I teach them, is create a nice meaty article and then break it up into little snacks for your socials. Yeah.
Okay.
And get a VA to help you do that bit, so that you're only doing the bit that requires your knowledge. Those are just admin tasks. Just get them off your plate. Have you seen all those food analogies I just did there, Ali? Plate, meaty meal, snacks, dine out. Full of them today.
Nats is talking directly to me.
I am talking your language. Oh dear. So
well, I'm just going to eat it all up.
Excellent. And I've even got a blog on EAT, which is a thing. But anyway.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I have not read it, but I did know that you did. You did want to
eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, there you go. Excellent. All right. Hope that was helpful.
Thank you.
I normally at this point I pop in the link for, if you want a discovery call, I can chat to you. If you want a demo of the software, of the SEO software, I can give you that. It's a separate link. Or what else? Oh, if you want an SEO, just a review on how your website's doing, you can do that. But I'll pop that into the email. So yeah. Cool.
Thank
okay.
you.
Well, lovely to see you both. Thank you for coming along.
Nice to meet you, Ali.
Yeah, lovely to meet you too. Have a good rest of the day.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you both.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.